self-mastery. I'm so excited for this one because there's so much potential power here. Tonight we're going to be talking about debunking beliefs and continuing to understand how to build them. And I'm going to say it again, beliefs determine behavior. Self-concept equals destiny. But what are these invisible forces that are controlling my life? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. So on one hand, we are going to have beliefs, but I also want to bring in the other, which is the hierarchy of the brain, or we can just understand it as the priorities of the brain and body. And the first two are survival and safety. We can group those together and just understand them very simply as when we're about to go out for a big game, we're about to maybe give a speech, whatever it may be that's about to push us outside of our comfort zone. Your brain and body will pop thoughts in your head, and I'm sure we've all had them. Like, am I ready for this? What are they going to say about me? Oh, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I don't think I'm ready. These thoughts are not coming from you. They're coming from your brain and body because remember, we've talked about this. The strongest force in the human personality is our need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves. And when we're about to take that step outside of our comfort zone, remember, we are breaking that mold, and your brain and body are going to begin to fight back. That's not what we're talking about, though, tonight, even though that is great. So hold on to that information. The third priority of the brain and body is what we want to leverage, and that is efficiency. It's the law of repetition. It is your brain and body's ability to hardwire behaviors, emotional responses to a point where it is much more effective for them to run them and your mind not even partake anymore. And we've talked about a lie on paper can become a truth in my soul. We've talked about incantations, affirmations, and I want to continue to discuss this because there is so much power in this, and one episode of this does not do it justice. So we're going to talk about the law of repetition. And so now let's understand, what is a belief? What is this force that is controlling everything? Well, let's debunk it. So we need to understand, just follow me very quickly in the quick science. I'm going to keep this simple. In our brain, we have about 100 billion neurons or nerve cells. Each nerve cell can connect to around 1,000 or 10,000 other nerve cells, depending on what area of the brain it is in. And when you have a thought or recall a memory or have an experience, that's one nerve cell firing and connecting to another. And so a memory is just the continued linkage of those nerve cells or those neurons. Remember, nerve cells that fire together, wire together. And when we get into breaking and building, or breaking specifically, we're talking about nerve cells that fire apart, wire apart. And so what we want to do and understand is the second way to build a belief is to understand everything is a pattern. Remember, I can say the thing over and over and over again, embody it. Eventually, I will become it, but it does not happen overnight. I have to do it every single day, at least for, I would say, 70 days, but it takes about 65 to 134 days to really build a habit to a point that you physically embody it, that your brain, the neuroplasticity of our brain's ability to change through experience has changed and has adopted this completely new way of being. So guys, now we have two ways of understanding and building beliefs. The first one is always self-trust, proving it to ourselves one decision at a time, one step at a time, keeping promises to ourselves. That one is absolutely reliable, but the second one is as well, and it's laying down these patterns. It's writing the script. It's saying it. It's listening to it. It's embodying it. And that's the one I really hope that you add into your life in the morning, in the evening, whenever you can. Maybe on a run. I love doing it on a run. I did it over the summer for about 60 days. I yelled it over and over and over, and I'm telling you, that is my absolute foundation now. So I challenge you. I know there's going to be a lot of people who don't do this, and let me tell you, if you think this gets crazy, I'm not going to do it. That's the left side of your brain talking, but for the people who do it, I'm excited for you, and I hope to hear how it goes. Try it out.
Scared.